Hey guys, this is Michelle from Virtual Hand Care, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to measure your finger for an Oval-8. It's a question I get a lot of, and so I figured I would do a step-by-step tutorial to show you how to measure appropriately so you can get the right size Oval-8 for you. Now, there's a few important tips to keep in mind before you do measure. One is you really want to think about the temperature or the weather conditions that you work in. So if you work in very, warm environments, and then you go home and you got the AC, up really high and it's really cold, you want to make sure that you are measuring your finger at least 2 or maybe 3 times throughout the day. I usually recommend morning and afternoon or evening so that you can see if there are fluctuations in your finger swelling, which will potentially change the size of the ring that might fit you. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is if you've had a recent injury and your finger's pretty swollen and you know it's gonna go down, then you might want to get a few different sizes so that you can accommodate for those changes in swelling. It's not uncommon to have to get 2, maybe 3 different types of sizes to get the right fit, but also just to accommodate for changes in the swelling in our fingers that just naturally happen throughout the day. So with that in mind, I'm going to show you how to measure your DIP and PIP of your finger and then also of your thumb IP joint. Now, the 2 different ways that you can get the most accurate measurement is to either use a measuring tape, so a soft measuring tape, perhaps a seamstress measuring tape, or you can also print out a copy. If you have a printer, you can print out a copy of measuring size instructions. Now, if you don't have a printer or you don't have scissors, then you're probably not going to want to do this method, and that's where using a measuring tape can be very helpful for you. So first, let's look at using the sizing guide template. So you're going to want to print out this PDF, and I'll link below of where you can find it. You're going to need yourself a pair of scissors, and then you're also going to want to have a metric ruler that measures 1/16. Next, what you want to do is cut out the sizing guide template. Then you have this nice little template that you can wrap around your finger. So if you're looking to use the oval ring for a mallet finger, for example, then you would want the Oval-8 to fit over the DIP joint. So then in that case, you would use this template and you would measure your DIP joint. You want to make sure that you line up the opening of this template right with your DIP joint. So your DIP joint is right in the center of that opening. And then you take the rest of this tab and wrap it around your DIP joint. And then this little piece of the template is going to fit right through that opening. And then there are little lines right here, and then you would mark where the line is. Then if you are looking to measure your PIP joint, you do the same thing. Again, make sure you line up the opening with your PIP joint before you wrap around your PIP joint. And then there are little lines right here, and then you would mark where your PIP joint is. And you would do the same thing for your thumb. If you're looking to get an Oval-8 for your thumb IP joint, make sure you line up the opening of the template with your thumb IP joint. Right at the joint, not right below, not right above. And then you would measure and mark where the line is for that. And so then I would take a ruler and I would measure from the line here to my pen mark. Now keep in mind these measurements are in 1/16 increments. So if you look at my PIP, which is right here, it's actually 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4/16. So about 2 and 4/16. So as you can see, I'm kind of in between sizes for my PIP, so then I would probably measure up and go with a size 7. And like I said, you would want to measure it maybe twice a day, morning and evening. And as you can see, based on my measurements, the black was in the morning and then the red was a little bit more in the evening after I had done a few more activities and exercised. And so for that, then I would size up. And so I had already mentioned sizing up to the 7 since I was in between that. And I actually have a size 7 here. And as you can tell, it is a little bit on the snug side. I have to put it on and then kind of turn it. It really depends on what exactly you're going to be wearing the Oval-8 for. That's why sometimes having perhaps a graduated set like a 6, 7, or 8 size, or getting 2 different ones would be beneficial, because the last thing you want is one that's like really tight and you can't even get it over your joint. Now, again, like I said, if you don't have a printer, you can't use scissors, you don't have a ruler, then you can also use a soft measuring tape, and you can measure in centimeters as well. However, when it comes to measuring this way, there might be a little more margin of error. You don't have this line here to use as a guide. So you might want to have somebody even help you just to make sure that you get the right size. What you would do is just simply wrap around the joint that you are looking to measure. So if I need an Oval-8 for my DIP, then I would just measure around. And again, like I said, this can be a little challenging. Sometimes you gotta have somebody help you. So I would measure around my DIP joint, but this is showing about, for my DIP joint, about 5 centimeters, maybe 5.1 centimeters. And so if you look at the sizing chart, that would mean that I'm kind of in between sizes here, around a 4 to a 5. And I actually happen to have a 4 here. So I will go ahead and put that on. And as you can see, a 4 actually fits, and it's pretty snug. It's not going to fall off or anything like that. And in fact, to get it off and on, I have to kind of twist a little bit there. So I could maybe size up just a tad, but then it might be a little bit loose. Or if you're looking to measure for your thumb IP joint here, then again, you would measure around right directly at your thumb IP joint, which is right here. And for that one, that's showing about 6.1 centimeters. That would mean that I'm around an 8 or so. And I actually have a size 7 here. It is a little hard to get off and on, so I could technically go up to 8. So I would say that that's pretty close to size. So again, just to recap real quick, you can either measure using a soft measuring tape, or you can cut out the template that Oval-8 does provide for you. I also recommend that you do measure 2 or 3 times a day just to make sure that you notice any kind of swelling, and also keep in mind where you are at with your overall hand condition, the type of environment you work with, whether you know that you're gonna have swelling that will decrease. All of those factors will contribute as far as to which size is right for you. Now, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a like and hit that subscribe button below. If you want to see more videos on the Oval-8, drop a comment and let me know if you have questions on the Oval-8. I will also put a link below of where you can find the Oval-8, and I'll put a link for the PDF if you choose to print out that template. Thanks for watching.